Hello students, welcome to Main Maths. My name is Rachit and I will be your instructor for today. सभी लोग फटाफट अपना जल्दी से चैट बॉक्स में नाम लिख दो. I hope you are guys having a good Sunday. Write down your names in the chat box please so that we can start with the session. Hello students, anyone in the chat box, write down your names in the chat box so that I can recognize you. I don't see your names in the chat box right now. Write down your names in the chat box so that we can start with the session. Hello? Write down your name in the chat box so that we can start with the session. Please, students, I don't see any of your names in the chat box right now. All right. So let's begin with the class. If you join in the middle, then we will be beginning with the questions. Write down your names first. I will be reading the live chat and then we will be beginning with the questions, right? So for the first question, as you can see on my screen, a man sells a book at a profit of 20%. A man sells a book at a profit of 20%, and then he bought it at loss of 20% and sold it for 18 rupees less. He would have gained 25%. Then the cost price of the book is what? We have to find out what? We have to find out the cost price of the book. Alright, students? We have to find out the cost price of the book. एक आदमी ने एक बुक को 20% प्रॉफिट पर सेल किया. Then condition दिया मेरे को, if he had bought it at 20% less and again sold it for 18 rupees less. We have two conditions here. He bought it at 20% less here. Loss percentage is given. And then again we have given sold it for 18 rupees less. So we have loss over here. Then he would have gained 25%. Again profit percentage is given. So now we have to calculate the cost price. Come on in the chat box, write down the answers. So how we will do is we will assume that the cost price of the book be X. Right, students? We will assume the cost price of this book to be X. We will assume the cost price of this book as X. So now what we will do is, let us say the cost price be 100% of its cost price, right? If we convert this cost price into 100%, so this cost price would be 100% of itself, right? So now if we have a book, so now what would be the percentage in terms of the cost price? It would be 20%, right? How? See, 100% plus 20%, right? So this is all in terms of what? This is all in terms of cost price, right? So this whole percentage would become 120%, right? Yes or no? So now the selling price would become what? 120% of CP, right, students? So the selling price would be 120% of the cost price. So what? The selling price would be 120 by 100x. Am I right? 120 by 100x. And now, if he had bought it for 20% less, 20%, 20%. So now what? So now this percentage would become 100% minus 20% of what? Of cost price. So this would again become what? This would again become 80%. 80 by 100 of x. So now this 80 by 100 of x is what? 80 by 100 is x is our CP. This is the cost price, right? Let this be CP dash. So this 80 by 100x is our new cost price. And also he has given the condition that he has sold it for rupees 18 less. Sold it for rupees 18 less. So the new selling price is 18 rupees less. So this what is this new selling price? This new selling price is 120 by 100x. 120 by 100x, right? So now this 120 by 100x minus 18 is what? The new selling price, right? The new selling price. So we can say the new selling price is what? 120 by 100x minus 18 rupees. Am I right? Yes or no, students? So we have successfully completed all these necessary equations, right? For the questions. And now next is what given. We would have gained 25%. We would have gained 25%. So the profit percentage is given again over here. So percent profit percentage is given 25. So now what? This new SP is 120 by 100x minus 18, right? And the cost price initially was X. Am I right, students? The cost price was X. So ultimately, our new selling price would also be equal to the new selling price would also be equal to this cost price, right? 80 by 100x. This cost price 80 by 100x. And then what we have to add? We have to add 25% of this cost price, right? Why? Because 25% of the profit is given. So 25% of 80 by 100x. Am I right? So now फटाफट ये इक्वेशन को कैलकुलेट करके बताओ what we will get the answer. So 25% would ultimately become 25 by 100 and this multiplied by 80 by 100x and here we have to add 80 by 100x, right? So this is ultimately our new SP also. So 80 by 100x plus 25 by 100x into 80 by 100, right? So when we will solve this equation, we can directly take 80 by 100x as common. This 80 by 100x we can take common, right? We can take this common and then in the bracket we will get 1 plus 25 by 100. Then we can get this value as x. We will solve and we will find that this value will come out to be x, right? So now this new selling price, this new selling price and this new selling prices are equal, right? So ultimately what we will do, we will equate both of these equations. Why? Because the new selling price is given in two terms. So these two terms would be equal. So ultimately what we will get x is equals to 120 by 100x minus 18. So now we will have to solve this equation and we will get the value of x. Take the LCM, cross multiply it and then we will get the equation and then we will solve it. So we will get 100x is equals to 120x minus 1800. Then we can get 20x is equals to 900, right? 20x is equals to, sorry, 20x is equals to 1800. Then we'll get x is equals to what? X is equals to 90. So our first question, we have solved it, right? So the answer of the first question is D option, that is 90 rupees. Is there any student in the chat box right now? Can write down their names. Hi, Admission Willow Institute. Write down your name in the chat box. Write down the name in the chat box so that we can begin with the next question. Fun with Ashu. Hi, beta. Hi, hello. Write down your name, beta. We can begin with the session. We can be doing this question again if you want. Thank you. Got it. All right. All right. Write down your name first so that let me know you. Good afternoon. Very good afternoon, Ashu. Shall we move on to the next question, right? So the next question on our screen is Raju purchased an item for 4,500. Very good. Hello, Tanmay. Hello. Very good afternoon. Tanisha. Hello, Tanisha. How was your day? I hope all of your Sunday is going well, right? All right. Next, without wasting any time, let's move to the next question. So Raju purchased an item for 4,500 rupees and then sold it at a gain of 15%. From that amount, he purchased another item and sold it at a loss of 10%. What is his overall gain and loss? So we have to calculate the overall gain or loss, right? So in this question, we have given the cost price and we have given the profit percentage. Try to do the question by yourself and then we will solve it and see what is the answer. Try to do the questions as quickly as possible, right? Compete with yourself, not with everyone else. खुद से कंपटीशन करना है, खुद से आगे बढ़ना है, ठीक है? खुद से बेहतर करना है. Option B, very good, 157.50. Very good, very good, very good, Aditya. So let's move towards the question how we'll solve it. So we are given the selling price. We don't have. We have the cost price. That is 4,500 rupees. So the cost price is 4,500 rupees. And what we are given? We are given a gain of 15%. So as I told you in the previous question, let us assume the CP in terms of percentage is 100% of itself. Right? Very good. All of you have got the answer. Very good. Very good. So now quickly we will go through this question. So the CP in terms of percentage would be 100% and after the gain we will add this 15%. It would ultimately become SP would be 115% of this cost price, right? And then we can get the CP. We can get the CP as 5175, right, students? And from this amount, he purchased another item and sold it at a loss of 10%. Purchased another item. So now this would become our cost price, the new cost price, right? So now this cost price, then he sold it at a loss of 10%. So again, this CP would be what 100% of the CP, right? In terms of percentage. And after the loss, we subtract this. In terms of profit, we were adding the percentage, right? To 100%. Now in losses, we have to subtract it from 100%, right? So this would ultimately become what? This would ultimately become 90%. So 90 by 100 multiplied by 5175, right? So this we will get the answer as 4657.5, right? 5175 multiplied by 5 is what? 46575. And then divided by 10, we get 4657.5. So now what we will do is we'll calculate the overall selling price and overall cost price to get the overall profit or loss. Right? So we'll calculate overall selling price and overall cost price. So what we will get? We will get our overall gain. Right? Why? Because overall SP is greater than that of the cost price. 4657.5 plus 5175 is our overall SP. And then overall CP is what? 5175 plus 4500. Right? And we have to subtract all this. So we'll get the answer as option number B. Let's move towards the next question. Which of the following statement is true? Gagan bought a plot of land for 2,35,000 rupees. Right? He bought a plot of land for 2,35,000 rupees. So this is what? This is CP. If he built a boundary wall around the plot and leveled the land and sold it for 35 lakh rupees. This is SP. Right, students? And thus making a profit of 40%. We have to find out whether statement 1 is true or statement 2 is true or both of them are true or both of them are false. Do it quickly. It's an easy question based on profit and loss. We have to simply calculate whether the profit or loss is there or not. We have to calculate the profit of 40% is making it or not, right? And then in the second question, we have to verify whether the cost price is 4,000 rupees or not. If the cost, we have all the values in this question. We have all these values in this question. We have to simply check it. हमें सिर्फ चेक करना है वैल्यूज को कि ये वैल्यूज हमारी एक्यूरेट हैं, क्या ये स्टेटमेंट हमारा सही है. All the values, all the answers are given in this question. We just have to check it. Statement first and second, both of them are true. Tanmay, very good. You have given the answer first. Just quickly go through the statement 2, beta. Just check if you have done it right. Quickly go through the statement 2, the problem you have solved, and let us see. Students, try to participate in the class. Write down the answers in the chat box. Tanisha, you have not given the answer. Are you there in the chat? Yes, Tanmay. Are you sure? Try to be confident. सही बोल रहा है तो हाँ ठीक है, मैंने सही बोला है. ठीक है? If you have done it, you have done it. Right? So wrong or right, it's the secondary thing. Just be confident. So now let's move towards the question. So we are given the cost price as 2,35,000 rupees. 2,35,000 rupees. And he sold it for 35,000. Sold it for 35, sorry, 35 lakh. I'm so sorry. 35 lakh rupees. And then profit percentage is given 40%. Then he spent 22 lakh 65,000 rupees on the boundary wall. So these expenses are what? These expenses are counted as cost price. So these expenses are counted as cost price. Option B. Tanisha. Here we have to write whether the statement is true or not. Which of the following statement is true? Let's see, let's see. Let's see towards this question. How this will go. Right? So what these expenses are counted as what? These expenses are counted as cost price. So this would ultimately add to the cost price. That is 22 lakh 65,000 rupees. Right? So this would ultimately, cost price would ultimately result to what? 2,35,000 and 22,65,000 would ultimately result to what? The new cost price, that is 25 lakh rupees. That is 25 lakh rupees. So now we have this cost price and we have the selling price. So now we can easily calculate the profit percentage. That is profit upon CP into 100. So now we have profit of 10 lakh rupees. Right? 35 lakh minus 25 lakh. That is 10 lakh rupees, and then we have to divide it by cost price. That is 25 lakh multiplied by 100. So now this is what profit percentage, and we have to check this profit percentage, right? Whether it is true or not, right? So this get cancelled out, and then we have 25 4 is 100, and here we have got 10 here. So 4 multiplied by 10 is what? 40%, right? So in this question we are given 40% is the profit, and we are also getting here the profit as 40%, right? So we can see the statement 1 is true, right? But currently we cannot say statement 1 is true, so option is right. Why? Because we have not checked the statement 2 as of now. We have to check the statement 2 also. इनकम्प्लीट क्वेश्चन नहीं करना है, इनकम्प्लीट क्वेश्चन करेंगे तो हो सकता है आंसर गलत हो जाए, राइट? सो स्टेटमेंट 1 इज करेक्ट, राइट? सो नाउ वी विल चेक द स्टेटमेंट 2. स्टेटमेंट 2 सही है या नहीं है, राइट? आई होप यू गॉट द स्टेटमेंट 1, राइट? So now what we will do, we will see this marked price as 4,200 rupees, right? If the marked price for a pair of jeans is 4,200 in a festive season, a retailer sells the ready-made clothes at a discount of 20%, right? So the discount is of 20%, and he still gains 20% of the cost price, right? कि मैंने सपोज करते हैं मेरा कोई शॉप है और मैंने कुछ सामान बेचा डिस्काउंट पर और तब भी मुझे प्रॉफिट हुआ, राइट? तब भी मुझे प्रॉफिट हुआ, बट जो मैंने सामान बेचा उसका जो कॉस्ट प्राइस था, वो जीन्स था, उसका कॉस्ट प्राइस कितना था? 4,000 गिवन है मेरे को क्वेश्चन में, और मार्क प्राइस मेरे को गिवन है 4,200 रुपीज, राइट? सो हाउ वी विल डू इज, वी विल सी द मार्क प्राइस एज 4,200 rupees, right? So now we are getting 20% discount, right? So 20% discount on what? 20% discount on marked price. So 20% discount on marked price would ultimately result to what? 80% of the cost of marked price would be the discounted price, right? 100% minus 20%. So this would ultimately become 80 by 100 multiplied by 4,200. So this is what? This is the discounted price. This is the discounted price, that is 3360. We will solve this and we will get 3360. So this is what discounted price, right? And now this discounted price is what he is selling the product, right? He is selling the jeans, and then also he is getting what? He is getting a profit of 20%, right? So let us assume, let CP be X, right? So now what? X plus 20% of X is what? This discounted price, because this is actually the selling price, right? So this would ultimately become, so now again this X would be 100%, right? 100% of itself. So this would ultimately result to 120 by 100 multiplied by x is equals to 3360, and then we'll calculate the value of x, right? So 3360 multiplied by 10 and then divided by 12, and then we will get what? We'll get the answer as 2800. So now what we can see, the cost price here in the question was given 4000, but हमारा तो calculation में 2800 आया, right? So the statement 2 is wrong, right? So what we can say is statement 1 is correct. Statement 1 is correct. So the option is A. Let's move to the next question. Are you getting the question, students? Write down in the chat box. So now let's move towards the next question. The next question is, the perimeter of a rectangular garden is 420 centimeter. If its length is increased by 20% and the breadth is decreased by 40%, we get the same perimeter. Then the length and breadth of the new formed rectangular garden would be. So we have to calculate the length and breadth of the new rectangular garden form, not of the original one. हमको यहाँ पर नए रेक्टेंगल जो फॉर्म होगा उसका लेंथ और ब्रेड्थ कैलकुलेट करके बताना है, राइट? सो डू द क्वेश्चन फर्स्ट एंड लेट्स सी हु डज दिस क्वेश्चन फर्स्ट. Come on, students, you can do it. This one is a really easy question. Tanisha, are you getting the question, or you have any doubt? Tanmay, write down in the chat box the answer of this question. First of all, tell me what is the perimeter of a rectangle. First of all, very good, Aditya. Very good, Tanisha. You have got the answer. Very good, beta. Very good. You guys are doing excellent. 2L plus B. Very good. Very good. Very good. See, you guys are doing great. So now what we will do, let's see कि मैं ये question कैसे करता हूँ, right? So we have this perimeter. Perimeter of this rectangle as 2L plus B. 2 bracket L plus B is given as what? 420. So what L plus B would become what? L plus B would become 210 rupees, 210, right? So now this 210, this L would be increased by 20%. So now L is 100% of itself. After increasing, it would become 120%. So this 120% of L. So now let's convert this 120 by 100 into fraction. What we will get? We will get this as 6 by 5, right? Right. So the new length would be 6 by 5L. And similarly, breadth is decreased by 40%. Decreased by 40. So ultimately 100 minus 40 would become what? 60%, right? So this 60 by 100B. So 2 3s are 6. 3 by 5. Right, students? So now what? The perimeter remains the same. We have got the length. We have got the breadth. That is 3B by 5. So now using these breadth and length, the perimeter remains the same. So that means that 2 into 6 by 5L plus 3 by 5B, the perimeter remains what? The perimeter remains 420. So now what we will do, we will write this as 6 by 5L plus 3 by 5B as 210, right? So now again we will take 3 by 5 common. We will again take 3 by 5 common and we will get 2L plus B as 210. We'll again solve this equation. 2L plus B is what? 210 into 5 by 3. So 3 sevens are 21. We got 70. 7 fives are 35. So 2L plus B is what? 350. Right? So now we have got this equation right over here. L plus B is 210. Substitute this value in this equation. 2L plus B is equals to 350. What we will get? We will get L plus 210 is equals to 350, right? Why? Because L plus B, the value is 210. And then 2L plus B, this 2L plus B can be written as L plus B is equals to what? 350, right, students? So what we got the value of L as 350 minus 210. That comes out to be what? That comes out to be 140. That comes out to be 140. Am I right? लेकिन ये 140 जो है ये 140 जो है वो ओरिजिनल पैरामीटर का है ओरिजिनल राइट सो नाउ व्हाट वी विल कैलकुलेट the 6 by 5L. This was our new bread, right? 6 by 5L. So this 6 by 5 would be 6 by 5 into 140 and then we will get answer 168. Am I right? So the option would be B. हमें ब्रेड कैलकुलेट करने का जरूरत ही नहीं पड़ा क्यों क्योंकि किसी और ऑप्शन में 168 तो दे ही नहीं रखा था राइट All of you have got this question very good. Proud of you all. You're doing good. Let's move towards the next question, students. The next question is Sakshi sold a book for 27.50 with a profit of 10%. So we are given a selling price of 27.5 and profit of 10%. If she had sold it for 25.75, then what would have been the percentage of profit or loss she earned? Right? कंडीशन दे दिया मुझे यहाँ पर कि अगर साक्षी ने उस बुक को 25.75 पे बेचा होता तो उसको प्रॉफिट होता या लॉस होता और वो भी परसेंटेज में बताना है इजी क्वेश्चन See, who is this Toshmi here? We guys are coming here to study, not for some fun or chit chat, right? Try to maintain the decorum of this classroom, right? Don't write these all these things in the chat box. It doesn't look good. It doesn't reflect good for yourself, right? मुझे क्या है मैं तो 1 घंटा क्लास पढ़ाऊंगा चला जाऊंगा C profit of 5%. All right. How did you do it? Profit of 5%. Let us see. Let us see how we'll do it. Sakshi sold a book for 27.50 rupees. So this selling price is what? This selling price is 27.50, right? With a profit of 10%. So now let us assume the CP as X, right? The CP as X, right? So X plus 10% of X is what? 27.50, right, students? So now what this X is again what? Let us assume this is 100% of itself. So now this would ultimately become 1110 by 100 into X is equals to what? 27.50, right? So now what X value is 27.50 multiply by 100 upon 110. So tell me first of all, write down in the comment box, what is this cost price? What is the value of X? Write down in the chat box first of all. Let me see how many of you have got this cost price of this book. I will not be going to tell you this whole answer. Let me see you are all getting the calculations right or not. Students, write down the value of x in the chat box. Then we'll move forward. No, 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 no. Just tell me the value. Just tell me the value of x. How can you integrate this profit into profit percentage? How you can tell it into P into R into T by 100? That is the formula of simple interest. Tanmay, we are not calculating a simple interest. We are calculating the profit percentage, right? So we'll have to use the formula. Right, very good. Very good, Tanisha. We have got the value of x as 25. Very good. So now what if she had sold it for 25.75 rupees? So now this is the new SP. We have got this cost price, and now what Sakshi is saying, if she had sold at it at 25.75 rupees, what would have been the percentage of profit or loss? So now this x is equals to 25 is what our cost price, and this 25.75 is our selling price. So now we have SP is greater than CP. So ultimately profit is there. How much of profit? 25.75 minus 25, right? So now what we'll get? What we'll get is 0.75 as the profit, right? 0.75 as the profit. So now what we will do? Now we have this profit. We have the cost price. We can easily calculate the profit percentage. What is the profit percentage? Profit upon CP multiplied by 100. Simple. Now calculate this and tell me the answer. 0.75 by 25 into 100. Tell it in the chat box. What is the answer you are getting? Come on, students. It's an easy calculation. Tanisha, do it fast. We just have to do simple calculation, that is 0.75 by 25 multiplied by 100. We'll simply get the answer as 3%. Why? Because 25 multiplied by 3 is 75. So 25 into 0.03 into 100, right? We'll get the answer. How? Let us see. 0.75 by 25 multiply by 100. This is the profit percentage. You can simply either this becomes 0.03. 0.03 into 100 is what? 3%. Or you can simply multiply 0.75 into 100, right? So the answer is 3, not 5. I hope you got that. Let's move towards the next question. See students, जब भी हम क्वेश्चंस करेंगे ना तो we'll keep this thing in mind कि हमको स्पीड नहीं चाहिए, सिर्फ हमको स्पीड और एक्यूरेसी भी चाहिए, राइट? स्पीड एंड एक्यूरेसी आर टू इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट्स, है ना? क्वेश्चन को जब हम सॉल्व करेंगे तो सिर्फ स्पीड से भी काम नहीं चलेगा, राइट? कि स्पीड तो है मेरे पास बहुत अच्छा, बट मैं क्वेश्चन ही नहीं सही कर पा रहा हूँ, सो व्हाट इज द रिजल्ट ऑफ इट? नथिंग, राइट? तो मेरे को स्पीड भी चाहिए, आंसर भी चाहिए. वेरी गुड, वेरी गुड. यू ऑल आर गेटिंग द क्वेश्चन, राइट? सो इस चीज का ध्यान रखना है. लेट्स मूव टुवर्ड्स द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. Ria started a business investing 25,000 rupees. After 3 months, Sneha joined her with a capital of 30,000. At the end of the year, they made a profit of 19,000 rupees. What will be the Ria's share in the profit? So this is one of the trickiest question in this exercise we are doing today, right? So let me see how many of you would be able to do this question correctly. सो रिया ने क्या किया, रिया ने एक बिजनेस में इन्वेस्ट किया 25,000. सो कीप वन थिंग इन माइंड, लेट मी गिव यू अ हिंट कि इन्वेस्टमेंट जो है यहाँ पर दो बंदे कर रहे हैं, रिया और स्नेहा. सो दीज टू गर्ल्स आर इन्वेस्टिंग 10,000 रुपीज. वेरी गुड तन्मय. वेरी गुड बेटा. I hope you calculated the investment amount by multiplying it by 12 and 9 respectively for Reha and Sneha, right? All right. Let us be start doing the question. So investment amount is what? 25,000 rupees. The investment amount is 25,000 rupees. And after 3 months, Sneha joined her. Language ko padho. After 3 months, Sneha joined her. And at the end of the year, they made a profit of 19,000. सो अब शेयर कैसे निकाल लेंगे हम इस क्वेश्चन में. सो शेयर निकालने के लिए हमें सबसे पहले ये भी तो देखना पड़ेगा कि दोनों ने एक्चुअल में इन्वेस्ट कितना किया है, राइट? कि दोनों का इन्वेस्टमेंट में कितना पार्टिसिपेशन है, एंड देन वी विल allocate them their respective share in the profit also, right? So how we'll calculate their share in the investment first of all? So we have to calculate the total investment amount. So this total investment amount would be the amount for 1 month multiplied by the total investment period. So Ria invested for 12 months, right? So this 25,000 would be multiplied by 12. And after 3 months, Neha joined, right? So after 3 months, so this 30,000 would be multiplied by 9. Why? Because after 3 months, right? So the total investment cost would be 25 into 12. That comes out to be around 3 lakh rupees, right? And then for Sneha, this would be 2 lakh 70,000, right? 30,000 into 9, right? So now what, this is the total investment amount for Diya and Sneha. So now what we have to do is we have to calculate the ratio of their investment. So we will simply calculate the ratio as 3 lakh divided by 2 lakh 70,000, right? So we'll simply calculate this ratio. This would ultimately come out to be 10 by 9, right? This would ultimately come out to be 10 by 9. So now what? The shares of Ria is 10. Out of total shares, how many are there? Can you tell me total shares? Tanmay is getting a different answer. 9,000. Let us see how we are getting 9,000. See, common mistake is what? Ria share. Ria का रेशियो देखो हमने क्या कैलकुलेट किया. रिया का रेशियो किया हमने 10 by 9, right? So the total investment, if Ria is investing 10 shares, then Sneha is investing 9 shares. So total, how many shares are there total? So total shares would be 10 plus 9, right? That comes out to be 19. And Ria share is 10 out of 19. 10 out of 19, right? So the percentage of profit would also be 10 by 19 times, right? I hope you are getting it. ये जो मेरा शेयर था यहाँ पर, जो मैंने रेशियो निकाला वो था 10:9. यानी कि जो रिया है वो 10 शेयर्स अगर इन्वेस्ट कर रही है और स्नेहा जो है 9 शेयर्स इन्वेस्ट कर रही होगी, राइट? सो टोटल शेयर्स वुड बी 19. सो अगर मैं टोटल का रेशियो निकाल लूं अगर एक बंदे का, so that would come out to be 10 by 19, right? So 10 by 19 is what? 10 by 19 is the investment. So 10 parts out of 19 part is for Ria. So profit will also be 10 by 19 parts of Ria. So 10 by 19 would be multiplied by what? 10 by 19 would be multiplied by 19,000 rupees, right? Am I right? Am I right, students? So this would ultimately come out to be 10,000. Why? Because this would come out to be 1,000 and 1,000 multiplied by 10. So we have got D option. I hope you guys got this question. We have to calculate the respective shares, right? Keep this thing in mind. Here, a simple concept of ratio was used, right? A simple concept, a little bit. So now let's move towards the next question. Harshit bought 15 DVDs of rupees 4,500 and sold all of them at the total price of 81,000. What is the percentage profit earned in deal? See, this is very easy question, very easy question. You guys have to do it by yourself now. Just tell me the correct answer. Very easy question. What we have to do is calculate the cost of 15 DVDs overall. We have given cost of one DVD, calculate the cost of 15, and then we have the selling price of all. अब बस चेक करना है whether the selling price is more or the cost price is more. वो भी नहीं करना है. क्यों? क्योंकि क्वेश्चन में बोल दिया मेरे को प्रॉफिट अर्न है, तो सिंपली सेलिंग प्राइस वुड बी लार्जर, राइट? तो सेलिंग प्राइस माइनस कॉस्ट प्राइस अपॉन कॉस्ट प्राइस इनटू 100. This is very easy question. Come on, students, you can do it. Come on, students, answer this question first. It's a very easy question. Okay, let's move forward. I'll be seeing your answers in the chat box. So first of all, we'll calculate the overall cost price of the DVDs. That would be 15 into 4,500 rupees. So this would ultimately cost around 67,500 rupees, right? So we have got this cost price. Now selling price is given. That is 81,000 rupees. So now we have to calculate the profit. That is 81,000 minus 67,500. So what is 81,000 minus 67,500? It is 13,500 rupees. So the profit is 13,500 rupees is the profit, right? And then what is profit percentage? Is 13,500 by 67,500 is the cost price multiplied by 100. And what we will get? We will be getting the answer as 20%. All of you are getting the answer. Very good. 20%. So the option B is correct. Very good, beta. Tanisha, you're doing great. Aditya B, very good, Aditya. Tanmay, very good. You guys are getting the answer. Next question. Now let us see who will be giving this answer first. Tanmay, Tanisha, you are guys very close, right? Sometimes Tanisha is giving the first answer. Sometimes Tanmay is giving the answer first. Let me see who gives this answer first. A shopkeeper offers 3.5% discount on cash purchases. What cash amount would Trishi pay for a dress if the marked price of the dress is 1250? शॉपकीपर जो है वो डिस्काउंट दे रहा है 3.5% का, राइट, ऑन कैश परचेजेस. वी आर गिवन द मार्क्ड प्राइस इज 1250. Then we have to tell what is the cash amount that Trishi has to pay, right? So simply we can say we have to calculate the discounted price, right? We have to calculate the discounted price. Very easy question. So what we can say is let this marked price be what? This marked price be 1250. So now discount is always offered on what? Discount is always offered on marked price, right? And discount is what? 1206.25. Tanmay, D option. All right. Very good, Tanmay. 1206.25. Tanisha. Okay, all right. Now what we can see is the discount is always applied on what? The discount is always applied on marked prices, right? So if the discount is 3.5% of marked price, so what is the discounted percent? 96.5, right? Why 96.5? Because this marked price is 100% of itself. So now when 3.5% is removed of 100%, then we can calculate this as 96.5, right? 96.5. 96.5% of what? 96.5 percentage of marked price. So this 96.5 by 100 and this is multiplied by what? 1250 and we can directly get this answer, right? कुछ फॉर्मूला वगैरह हमको कैलकुलेट करने की याद रखने की जरूरत ही नहीं है अगर ये कॉन्सेप्ट हमने दिमाग में बिठा लिया अगर कि अगर जो भी मेरा अगर प्रॉफिट निकल रहा है लॉस निकल रहा है डिस्काउंट निकल रहा है वो किस पे लग रहा है वो कॉस्ट प्राइस पे लग रहा है या फिर मार्केट प्राइस पे लग रहा है सो व्हेन दिस कॉस्ट प्राइस इज कन्वर्टेड टू परसेंटेज दिस वुड बी 100% हमेशा रहेगा राइट सो अगर वो 100% है तो अगर उसमें मैं प्रॉफिट ऐड करूंगा तो वो 100% प्लस प्रॉफिट परसेंटेज हो जाएगा लॉस होगा तो माइनस हो जाएगा 100 से एंड डिस्काउंट के केस में हमेशा ही माइनस होगा राइट क्योंकि डिस्काउंट के बाद तो हमेशा कॉस्ट प्राइस कम हो जाता है राइट तो ये फंडा क्लियर है तो हमको दो लाइन में आंसर मिलेगा राइट सो नाउ द आंसर वुड बी व्हाट 96.5 मल्टी बाय 100 into 2 1250 the answer would be 1206.25 option number D 1206.25 you guys are still not getting the answer right 96.5 multiplied by 1250 96.5 multiplied by 1250 120625 divided by 100 is what 1206.25 right I hope you guys got the answer right so that's it for today I hope you guys had a great time solving these questions we will be meeting next day till then take care do questions well try to improve the accuracy right or enjoy your day right bye students